that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started digging it not knowing what it was, and they'll continue digging it forever just because this is the dig that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends.
Hello. Hello. I
Okay.
like how Discord cut out part of your
Yeah.
screaming,
Oh,
Daryl.
well.
It won't for the stream
Whatever.
probably, but it cut out for us, which is just delightful.
How you knew he was serious?
Yeah, exactly. The enthusiasm was there, it cut out.
Alright, well, we have to get back to business here and discuss these artifacts that were found in the university collections. They're still trying to find adequate interpretations for them. That's
You
a
guys
joke,
want
guys.
to burn the museum down?
Oh,
Or
well.
not the museum, the
The university.
the whole university.
Brutal.
Sorry. Aim big.
I feel like that escalated incredibly quickly, very quickly.
But did
Like,
it
there's-
though?
there are escalation paths that may be slightly less traumatizing to the people who study here.
Oh, they're on summer break, right, Daryl? Hopefully, fingers crossed.
He's gonna say yes, and then you're gonna
Yeah,
burn it
he's
down
gonna
and be
say
like, "Oh, the students in the summer program were still inside."
Yeah,
Technically, it's
that's
winter,
right.
guys. Remember, you had that
And then-
huge snow just like 2
Oh.
days ago.
Oh, that's well. I mean, it could be. It could. It's not. Never mind.
Well, it's up to you guys. I'm not gonna stop you.
Of course, you're not.
I will make you
Dice
roll.
will. Yeah, exactly. What were we? I remember what all happened last episode, but I forget in the final moments where we physically were or what we physically were doing. Were we heading? Had we agreed to head out and go to the docks, or
Okay.
like what it?
So let me do my recap. So
Yeah.
clearly, Dagmar is still recovering from her bloodlust, having massacred dozens and dozens of gremlins covered in their blood.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So, having defeated the gremlins, Professor Rass needed to take inventory of the university's collections to see to take account of whatever damage had happened. So they were going through all of the artifacts, all of the objects. For example, some of the objects you see here in front of you. You also had some of the ceramics. Okay. Ceramics, lovely, lovely ceramics. I love ceramics. The other thing is, the Professor Wrath looked at Dagmar and offered to show her something. I don't have an illustration of that one specifically, but it seemed to be some sort of object, or about a little bit under 2 meters, wrapped in a long, large cloth. And the cloth actually was bound at one end. Well, it was bound on both ends with rope. But in particular, let me see. Is it this one here? Okay, yeah. It had binding right here for this here. Specifically in kind of toward one end of it. Let me see if I could redraw a little bit of the thing here. Not that one. Oh, it's right there. There you go. I still have the illustration. Actually, let's... Oh, wait, no. Make that disappear. Okay, so that was the thing. It had some markings on the inside, tied up at either end, but here in the middle, it had a very specific object, some sort of ring that happened to... It seemed to be one of the cursed objects. This was made from the same material, same metallic substance, same metal. And Theory, being very astute and very perceptive, noticed a finger bone right there. There were some discussions about what it could be in references to Fenrir. Once so Professor Rath explained that now that the protective circle was up from the statue, she was willing to unwrap it further. And so it was revealed this to be underneath. Okay, but the not completely not completely trying to grab something here. Can't grab it. That's weird. I hate when I can't grab the drawings. I'm clicking like right on it. How bizarre. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so this was wrapped inside, and but yeah, I'm really sort of like, whoa, why is it not? Oh my god. Okay, I'm like messing with something here, so GM later. Huh, I can't like grab things anymore, that's weird. Can't clean it up. There it is. There, now I grabbed it. That's the one thing I dislike about the drawings, that they're so hard to like fidget and move. Okay. Alrighty. There, okay. So this thing here, right, it was partially still wrapped, and it actually was still wrapped around this area here, right? So that ring was not broken, and you could not take it off. At least you didn't want to try to take it off because it's a cursed object, so similar to the mesa. So you don't want to. I think it's this. I don't know if you guys decided on it specifically, but you didn't want to mess with it. I don't think.
Nope. The
Hmm.
ring?
Yeah, the ring.
Yeah, I think we decided not to mess
Yeah, we
around with
just
it.
decided that was. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, we agreed it was just not worth it.
Oh, but I made it specifically for you guys to touch. Very
That's
disappointed.
why we're not.
Okay, so
Whenever a DM tells me, "How do you want to do that?" or "You sure you don't want to touch it?" then I'm usually sure I don't want to touch it.
Right.
That's a safe bet.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so because it was discovered that or you guys came to the conclusion that this was originated from a northwest region, you were talking about repatriating it or doing something with it, and that's actually where we're at right now. So I'm just kind of doing that right now, just putting it back in place. So that's kind of where we're at now in the conversation is, what do you want to do now? Because you were arguing with Professor Rath about a bunch of different things. I don't know if you want to continue to argue with her, or do you want to leave the university? Do you want to steal it, destroy it, leave it behind, go find Dagmar's people? I don't know. That's really where we're at this point. I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, sorry. Go
No.
ahead, Janira.
Go ahead, Gretel. You're fine.
Oh, I was just going to say, perhaps we should find a quiet place to speak to talk and try to figure out what to do next. That's all.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, someplace that's not here.
We should, though, before we leave, if we can persuade Dr. Rath, find out where they typically store the remains. Just, in case we
Yeah.
decide to come back,
Uh,
Or trivia night. You never know. That information can be handy.
she shows you a room down in the basement, down 3 floors, and it turns out to be her bedroom, and she stores it right beneath her pillow.
Come on! Oh my god!
Of course, no. Okay.
I was about to say, I hate you, Daryl.
I was
like, of course she lives in the basement.
Yeah. Of course not under the pillow, under the bed.
What does your
Yeah.
bed look like?
By all means, we'd love to see your coffin, Doctor. I mean, bed.
I was like, I have suspicions on a well-known authority that it's likely a coffin.
She's like sleep. I don't sleep. I have too many things to do.
Oh,
Too many
fair
reports.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I should have seen that one coming. There's no way
Yeah.
she sleeps.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So clearly, no, I'm joking. Okay. So,
Mostly.
so the entirety of the university collections is it's kind of scattered throughout the university campus, right? Because some people are currently studying them or experimenting. So some of the smaller objects are kind of in classrooms or in storage areas throughout the university. This one in particular, because it's a more sensitive object than a larger object, and so far she hasn't really trusted people to study it, so she's kind of kept it kind of tucked away. So this would be like in the basement, but a basement 1 floor down.
Well, that may also change things, because if it's kept there and it's not exposed, then maybe there's less of a chance of these curses affecting things, or whatever this thing was designed to trap getting out.
Yeah. Well, because she'd said that the only reason why she brought it out and was letting any of these archaeologists look at it was because the protective shield was in place. So is there, I don't know, are we close to Dr. Rath or?
If you
Or
said you
has
moved away from her, okay, I assume you're not talking loudly enough for her to be hearing you, so I assume you've basically left her presence. You're somewhere on the campus. You know what? Now would have to be at night. At this point, it's at night.
Okay.
So I assume you're outdoors. You're on the grass, on the lawn, the campus lawn. You can hear people in a drum circle. Some people with poetry.
Drum circle.
Oh, that's nice. We won't get kicked off by campus security for being there
Does
at
someone
night.
have
That's
a
nice.
frisbee or a hacky sack?
Yeah, there you
Well, I was
go.
about to say it's too dark for hacky sack, but
Glow in the dark
Not if
frisbee.
it glows in the dark.
Yeah.
actually, you
If
know
we
what?
have forever tightening rings, do not try to tell me we don't have bioluminescent algae spread on top of a frisbee. All right, man.
Oh, okay. Actually, now that I think about it, I think Spaghettina Francina actually has a specialty in mushrooms. So she'll
Glow in the dark mushroom frisbees.
So let me see right here. I gotta look at this one.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh my god, are we gonna have to tell Kate that you've based a
Oh no! What are you talking about? I talked to Kate already. I talked to Kate with her. She gave me approval. You already told me what she wants to look like. What Spaghettina
You're
to look
like
like.
always 5 steps ahead of us, Daryl.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah. So her specialties is the role of psychotropic mushrooms in fertility rituals in archaic Faerun. All right. So she's familiar with certain bioluminescent funguses, and so I'm sure she's willing to share that knowledge with some of the college students there. So you can have them playing hacky sack with glow in the dark hacky sacks. Okay.
Okay, so I guess we can assume then, so it's stored in the basement, away from everything else, and away from students. And we can assume that because Dr. Brath only brought it out with the protective shield up, that whatever it's in the basement is protected. So maybe there's less of a concern to, like, worry about. And while I'm saying this, I'm kind of, like, looking at Dagmar and gauging her reaction. Um,
I'm stone faced.
you
Are
know,
you
like,
stone faced from the mushrooms?
Yeah.
were you munching on them?
I was munching on a frisbee, but go on.
Dagmar, stop eating the hacky sack.
Okay, so I mean, if you want, you can do an insight check, just to force it.
What?
I
No.
mean, I don't really need to force it, but I was just trying to see if she was, like, getting the hint that maybe it's like it's someplace, not that it itself is safe, but everybody else is safe from it.
Yeah. Yeah, Dagmar is nodding in agreement with that because her biggest concern was if we were to go and talk to people in her village or surrounding villages about this, that if we took it with us and something happened and it plopped on the ground, for whatever reason, or God forbid a tick monster comes up and, like, scares us and threatens us with Lyme disease, and we're just like, and drop the thing, then something might happen and the whatever is inside might get out. So that was already a concern of hers. So yeah, that works. Nod.
Okay, so then I think, like, we're pretty much done here, so we can do what Gretel suggested and go off to the tavern or something, get some dinner and a drink and discuss things.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go back to trowels and fossils?
I don't know if I could take another poking and prodding.
That
A bit
it's
far.
it's a tavern. It's not where the archaeologists live.
In theory, the conference is over, so
yeah. I mean, that could be. Well, still, there could be a couple folks still staying at the inns nearby. And is that the conference hotel? I don't know.
I'm wait, guys. Why would the conference be over? It's just the first day. You still got at least 2 more days.
Okay. All right. See, that tavern might be the official conference hotel, the sponsor, if you will.
That place was so run down. It makes me feel sad. Like, that's the sponsor.
I mean,
Tavern's like
archaeology.
rooms.
I've been to some conferences in some really small places where they've only had, like, Bates Motel type places for you to stay at, so.
Oh yeah, I've stayed in some sketchy hotels in my time for conferences, let me tell you. I had one that didn't have a lock on the front door in my hotel room.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh my god!
You mean the door that went to the
No
outside?
thanks.
Well, yeah, I went to the outside. It was a motel. I went to the outside, faced a major highway, and didn't have a lock on the door.
Like, not even a chain?
Nope.
Oh,
Oh.
Must have been one of them.
Wow.
It had basically a doorknob and no deadbolt.
So very, very like Andy Griffith. You know, nobody locks their doors, only to keep people from bringing in cookies.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'd get the chair and put the chair up in that case.
Which is exactly what I did.
yeah.
But no, we can head back in and go up to our room and chat about what we should do next, and maybe try to piece together the puzzle of what we've experienced so far.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so let's change the scene.
Before we leave, is there any chance I could ask a student if there's a good place for donuts nearby?
Donuts?
Yeah, we love donuts.
Uh,
That's been a party tradition since the. Oh, that's right. You weren't there with us in.
Wasn't there for that. That's new to
You weren't
me.
there for that, but I'd imagine you wouldn't object to donuts.
I will not object to donuts.
Zavarn's just like,
Party
I'm
tradition.
severely allergic.
You just wait. Party tradition. You'll enjoy that.
okay, so
I just hear donuts. I'm just like, bet.
ooh. Okay. I'm gonna make a Southern California reference. Okay, so I'm gonna write in the chat. So here are some they mentioned some places. So they mentioned the cafe. First, they mentioned the cafe that you had lunch with Helgarina with, and here are some donut places that they mentioned. I am.
Eek box.
Let me see.
Donut King.
The last one's a joke.
Ooh.
Let me see. See. So Pink Box, Donut King, Fry Bread, Peanut Butter Chocolate, and let me see. Reinvent the wheel. Want to go to the hole, Dagmar? I mean, whatever.
I was just asking.
Wonderful choices, you guys. Which one also serves beer?
I'll say all of them.
Nice.
Nice.
Since I mean, like, beer requires things like yeast and stuff, right? For the fermentation, you'll need that for the bread, right?
That makes sense. We'll get a dozen donuts and the equivalent of a 6-pack and take it back to our room.
Oh,
It tastes like Budweiser.
we really are doing the conference thing right now, aren't we? This reminds me of Philadelphia earlier in the year where we'd just be like, all right, we're done with this. Let's grab some food we like and some beer. Oh wait, they don't just sell alcohol in Philadelphia. Cool, that's weird, but we'll just do what we can do and then head back to the room.
Wait, what do you mean they don't just sell alcohol in like Philadelphia?
I guess what I mean is like you have to go to a liquor store
Mhm.
and that's very, 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 very different over here.
Yeah.
I
No,
can go
New-
to a Target.
The East Coast has all sorts of weird. I don't know why I'm speaking Gretel's voice, but the East Coast has all sorts of weird, like what are they called? Like something laws, like old school laws about alcohol.
Oh
Huh.
yeah.
It's just so it makes sense why I didn't know because it's just I mean, why would I think to look something like that up? And it's so common over here, whatever. But like, there was no warning for that. I was so surprised. I don't know if Christiana already knew, but when we realized we needed to go to a liquor store because the Target and the 7-Eleven and all the other places we went didn't have alcohol, I was like, what?
So
Yeah, if you're curious, that's one thing that Haley is not a fan of being around here because in Oregon she could just go to the supermarket and grab it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
I always get mine from convenience stores, always.
okay, so that's culture
Fun
shock
fact.
for you
Let's,
here in the Northeast United States.
Well, let's so let's head. Let's grab our stuff and we'll head to the hotel room and chat.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. Because you grab a dozen donuts, right? So that you get the assorted mix. So I'm just trying to think of like all the donuts that you might not like. I'm trying to think what's a donut mix that will irritate you.
Sardine and oatmeal.
Beans and oatmeal.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
There
was
you
gonna
go.
say it's gotta
no.
have sardines on it.
No.
No, they don't put sardines on donuts here. They put anchovies.
Salt.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So I'm gonna assume that there's chocolate in this world. It gets imported somewhere from the south, I suppose. I guess there's also peanut butter. Oh man, I have to come up with a dang flora. and the domesticated plant life in this world. Okay, whatever. So let's just assume that you get like milk chocolate, the maple bars. We'll have a white chocolate donut, some kind of sprinkles. We'll do a cinnamon donut, sugar donut, glazed donut. Maybe jelly filled with let's do blueberry.
Oh,
Twist,
now you're making me
eclair.
hungry.
Right.
Dagmar
I-
goes up to the front counter and she's like, for the maple bars, do you put the bacon crumbles on top? Can you put the bacon crumbles on top?
I'm tempted to make the shopkeep a Jewish person. No,
Aw.
no. Um, the-
Okay.
they're like bacon on maple. No, we don't do that, but we do use actual real maple syrup in our donuts. And she holds up a jug and like pours a little bit out, and you can see like it's thick. It's thick. Like it doesn't like drip. It kind of like hangs there, and then like tips it back.
That'll work.
All right, so you got your donuts, you got your Budweisers, your Coors, and you're just gonna go back to
You're just gonna allow that to be in this world.
no questions. I don't question that part there.
Oh my god.
I'll come up with a name for them later. Well, because the thing is though, okay, so this is gonna be me sort of
Oakwisers.
Because if I remember correctly, that like in like medieval Europe and stuff like that, they didn't drink much water. They drank more like really weak beer, just because it was happened to be more sanitary or something, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That is correct.
yeah. So there you go.
Soup.
Okay. So I'm being historically accurate in a
Yes,
very
you are.
anachronistic world. Okay. So are you gonna head up back to Trowels and Fossils?
I guess if that's where we rented out a room.
I mean, that's
Yeah, I think we rented 2 rooms there.
okay. Yeah, that's where Dagmar's crush, Madison Fartknocker, is. So
Oh yeah. Hey now. I wouldn't go that far.
Again, to be a jerk, I'm about ready to put a sign on the front of the towels and or trowels and fossils. No outside food and drink. No.
We will not care. We will go right through. I'll hold everything.
Okay. Anyways, so you come back in. You come back into the room. It's just a little bit late. It's fairly dark. It's still like maybe 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening. The fire is going inside of that large head with massive teeth and kind of jewel-looking eyes, and you see people warming themselves by the fire. The crowd is much thinner. You don't really notice many archaeologists now. You don't. It seems to be kind of a more mix of travelers, businessmen, or business people. Sorry, of various races and creeds and sort of classes. You see Madison waiting on tables and serving people. But you can see that he looks kind of nervous. He seems kind of agitated. Kind of looking around. Seems almost a little bit paranoid. But when he sees you come in, he welcomes you in all the same. It's like, oh, you're back. I hope you enjoyed your day. Come in and rest. And oh, I see you've brought in a snack and some beers. Please, pull up to the fire. Take off your boots. Warm your toes, and I'll be with you right in a moment. And he goes off hustling to wait more tables.
Did anyone else notice that he seemed a little upset?
Yeah, that was strange.
That was definitely the half orc display of nervousness, I can confirm.
Dagmar. Not all half orcs are the same. They're not a monolith.
Hashtag not all
But in
orcs.
Dagmar's simple brain.
Guys, we talked about this. We said we weren't going to be racist anymore.
Dagmar's very simple. Should we check on him or what? I mean, he was fairly nice to us before.
I think that's a very good idea.
Okay, so what are you guys gonna do?
Well, I'll go check. Is he busy at the very busy at the moment?
Yes, he's still busy, sort of, waiting tables, taking orders, bringing out orders, yelling at the cook.
Oh.
I guess we could wait till he comes back over to our table. He did say that he'll be with us in a moment.
Okay, so I'm gonna go down the line. Go ahead and tell me what you're doing. Try to be a little bit specific about yourself as an individual. A theory. Go.
Wants to know what we're doing?
Yeah. What are you doing? I just want you to describe. I want each of you to kind of contribute to the description of the scene. So, what is a theory doing?
Just sitting over by the fireplace, right?
Mhm.
Chilling out. I grab a donut with sprinkles and a beer, and I'm just gonna kind of sort of sit in a corner with my hood over my face.
Oh, very emo. All right, Gradle, your turn.
My donut in peace.
I'm very worried about this Madison fellow, and you know, I kind of want to keep an eye on him as he's moving through the crowd and sort of engage, try to figure out if I can sense what he's nervous about or how he's feeling.
Roll insight, Gradle. Janera, what are you doing?
I'm gonna grab a chocolate donut and a beer, and I'm gonna plop up in one of the chairs in front of the fireplace and kick up my feet and start munching on my donut.
Okay. I'm gonna maybe throw a bomb in here. Like, how do you guys eat your donuts? Do you like start on one end and just work your way down laterally, or do you like start on it and like work away in a circle so you kind of
What?
leave the center for the last? Or what do you do?
I really didn't think that we'd have to have a conversation about how we eat donuts.
Obviously from the middle outwards. Like what?
I was gonna say just
Third
shove
main.
the whole thing in my mouth, but whatever.
Yeah, we're getting a little too specific, but whatever.
The sprinkles off first.
Yeah.
No.
Dagmar, go.
So she's kind of like looking through the bag, making sure that all of the rest of the donuts are in there and that hers is in there. She wants to save it for the room. And then she's looking at Groudal's just like, could that be my donut? Because he's not eating it. But then she's looking up at Groudal, and then she's looking at Madison, eyeballing them while still like looking through the bag, seeing if there's any freebies in there.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, okay. Since you bought a full dozen donuts, you found some donut holes.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, fellas, he doesn't just seem a little bit nervous. He seems like full on paranoid.
Yeah.
Something's definitely wrong.
Okay, Zvarn, your turn. What are you doing?
Okay. So, what was how much variety of flavors were the donuts?
Typical like assortment of a dozen. I personally don't want to like describe every last dozen or one of the dozen. So
Okay,
you
no,
go
but
ahead and
like
pick whatever.
generic stuff. So, I want specifically Zvaran to have the weirdest donut that you have. So, like, pick a bizarre one, and that's the one he'll be specifically eating.
Golly. I mean, like, I wasn't really interested in actually doing a weird one, but
Okay. Then how about this? He just gets a plain glazed one, and then just straight up ask the person at the counter if they have hot sauce.
Oh,
well,
that actually doesn't sound half bad.
Like, he's like, "Do you have anything hotter than this?"
He's like, yeah, sure. He reaches up to the shelf and he grabs that can that he grabbed before when he was making that special drink for you guys. He takes it and he sprinkles it on that donut for you. Like, there you go.
Wonderful. And then I will take the donut, and again, I'll grab a drink as well, and I'll go chill by the rest of the group and just kind of take bites of the donut while I'm just like gently tuning my instrument. Not loudly, like so other like I'm holding it muted so that it's just me that can hear it. Just to kind of like keep my hands busy, but I'm observing the room.
Okay. I'm wondering, Dagmar, when you finish your beer, do you crush the can on your forehead?
There's cans.
Yeah, good question. There's cans.
There are cans in this world. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Like a sack or something.
And what kind of can? Is it an all steel beverage can? Or is it part steel and soft top? Is it all soft?
Wait. Even better.
Yeah.
Does Dagmar try to like fully like remember everybody like watched like the first Thor movie when he takes the coffee mug and just smashes it on the ground and yells another?
Yeah.
Is that Dagmar, or is Dagmar just gonna smash the glass on her head?
Y'all, I never said I was drinking anything. I wanted to save my meal for the room.
That's
You're
true.
gonna what,
She was
make it-
only
okay.
looking at donuts.
All right. I finished my drink. Does Dagmar do anything with the container my drink was in?
Well,
What'd you do? Just like hand it to her, Zavarin?
Yeah,
You're like,
just
here,
like blind
here's-
hand it to her just to see what she'll do. He's trying
I've-
to understand her. You have to remember this. Savarin feels that Dagmar is not an enemy, but a frenemy, and he wants to just be friends with her. He's sick of her getting all huffy and puffy for no reason.
That's
well,
fair.
she's like very she's very, very hungry. She does not remember when the last meal was, so her mind is a little preoccupied right now. So she just looks at you, she looks at the can you're holding out to her, she takes the can, and then she just gently puts it in the bag with the rest of the donuts.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what you want from me, but I'm putting this can right in here so we can hurry back to the room soon.
Okay, so I'm actually trying to think. Okay, so the can is actually a good question. I'm trying to think of some containers that would be not necessarily disposable, but as close to disposable as possible. So if this were like China or Japan, you can use a bamboo, right? Because the bamboo has like a hollow center. So you just cut it at certain intervals, and then it creates this like natural like a can, like it's a cylinder, and then you just make a hole on one end of it, and then you can plug it. But I don't think we have bamboo here, so
Well, where are we? Are we close to we're close to the waterfront, right? So you could be like some sort of I wouldn't say like coconut, but like something like make up some random fruit that's like or some random stock that's like a bamboo here. It's your world. Just make something up.
hey, my world is informed by history and archaeology. Okay, and science, all right. So I have dinosaurs in it.
Yeah, that's why you have dinosaurs and a dragonborn talking to a half orc while eating a donut. Sure, that's historically accurate.
Okay.
It's just the time periods are scrunched a little bit is all.
Okay. 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 We'll leave the containers for later. Probably would have to actually be like sacks or something like that. I don't know if wax paper would actually make a decent sack. Okay. Anyways. Oh no, paper's actually kind of expensive, huh? All right. But anyways. So Gradall. Let's go back to Gradall. He was talking about how Madison looks very, very nervous, like unreasonably nervous, like paranoid. So go ahead and Gretel. Take it from here.
Pretty much it's exactly what I was going to say. He just looks extraordinarily nervous and paranoid. He's looking around a lot, like I think somebody's after him.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which
Well, I was just gonna say, if he needs bodyguards, we can offer our services for a fee.
either that or he's been poked and prodded by some racist dwarves. But other than that,
Oh, we can do
Yeah.
that service for free. Where are they? Change my mind. No fee needed. Let's talk to him and find out what exactly he's fearful of. See if we can help him, and then eat our donuts
Okay.
as per previous plan.
So again, I'm going to be really specific. Okay, Dagmar. So I want to know your approach for getting the attention of the waiter. Do you wait really
What?
patiently while they zip around, and you're like, "Excuse me, excuse me," like that, and just never get their attention, or do you actually like slam your fist on the table? Oh, I need attention.
Oh God, what is Dagmar gonna do? I guess she'll just like whistle and be like, "Hey, baby," or something.
Oh God, good Lord. We can't take you
Dagmar,
anywhere, can we?
you got this.
It's just Dagmar saying, "Hey, hot stuff."
Sweet cheeks.
God.
Okay, well, whatever name you use, you get his attention. He smiles. You can see that he's um he actually kind of welcomes the distraction a little bit because it takes his mind off of whatever it is he's thinking about, and he turns his attention to you. He's like, "Oh yes, yes. How can I help you? I see you're enjoying your donuts. Okay, yeah, I like to eat dessert first too. So what would you like?
Hey, Gretel,
Finger guns?
Uh,
her confidence is just gone.
That's okay. So, what my friend here wanted to say was two things. Number one is I think she likes you. Number two is that you seem to be really nervous or upset about something, and we just wanted to ask if we can help.
Um. So like, I'm trying to think for a second. Okay, so for you, just flat out saying like that Dagmar likes him. You see him kind of like, because I remember you guys already tried to flirt with him once, and that didn't go over so well. So he kind of like maybe slightly rolls his eyes a little bit, and then like quickly moves past it. It's like, oh, really? Ah, I look nervous. Wow, is it really showing on my face? Um, he kind of leans in and whispers so that only you guys can hear. And it's like, do you see anything weird or feel anything weird happen in town like today?
Is it to everybody or
No,
just to
just to
those
you,
two?
just to you, just to your group.
Okay,
How much time
just
do you
our whole
have?
group. Okay.
Yeah.
Define
Uh,
weird.
Yeah.
Um.
Like narrow in a little bit on that for us. Like the vibe. Was the vibe good or was the vibe bad?
I guess kind of bad. He kind of shrugs because it's like just a weird feeling. Anything like really odd or out of place that did you notice anything?
Well,
Yay.
other
Yeah.
I
than the
mean,
other than the weird fey creatures bouncing around destroying things at the university and whatnot, but
Do you actually say
beyond
that?
that,
Do you literally say that to him?
yeah, why not?
you-
His eyes kind of grow big for a second and then they narrow, and then you can see like he gets. You can see like his nervousness kind of like disappears. He gets like really serious look on his face, and he's like his whole body sort of stiffens a little bit, and he kind of stands up straight, and then he like nods at you. It's like, okay, interesting. Oh, then the thing kind of breaks and he smiles again. It's like, okay, well, I didn't get what your order was. You're not going to have
Oh,
anything?
We didn't order anything.
Oh, so,
total insight check on what just occurred when he stiffened up and when I said what I said.
okay, well, roll an insight.
Even if it's obvious, can I do guidance?
That doesn't really make sense because you have to.
I figured as much, but I figured I'd check.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to pull up a picture of Madison here, so that everybody can like appreciate his beauty. All right, there we go. Okay, 14.
Oh, this guy. All right.
What do you mean
I'm
this
weak
guy?
for those knees.
I forgot his appearance for a few, and I was like, I remember this guy, but like I don't remember what he looked like. And now that the picture helped.
The knees are jogging my memory.
You don't seem to be afraid anymore, Madison, but you do seem to be, well, let's just say a little intense. Are you sure there's nothing we can do to help?
Help? Well, okay. Well, some other people are trying to get his attention, and he's like, "I want you to tell me about your day when we have a moment. If you have nothing in the
Sure.
order, then I'm just gonna go off and help these other people here. Stick around, please." And if you say nothing to him or you agree, then he runs off to sort of help the rest of the customers, guests.
Well, if we can get to the bottom of this, then finally I can enjoy my donuts. And of course, I take and I grab like some edible flowers from my bouquet, and I sprinkle them on top of the maple cream donut before I eat.
Eh.
At this point, Dagmar just takes hers out too. This is going to be a little. Opens one of the beer things in the container of choice that they are currently in, scarfs it down.
Okay. So it does take him actually quite a while to stop being busy. So you're talking like maybe an hour and a half later. So I assume everyone's just relaxing then, and people watching.
I'd like to people watch in particular around the tavern and see if there's anybody that I recognize or particularly anybody acting or behaving suspiciously.
Yeah, I'd like to do the same.
Everybody. No. Well, okay. The hive of scum and villainy.
Perfect.
It's an archaeological conference. Of course, it's a hive of scum and villainy.
Okay. Well,
Sounds like a nice Tuesday.
okay, so everybody, I want you to roll. Let's roll perceptions. I like perception. Genera comes in clutch.
Nice.
Are we actively perceiving things?
Yes.
Oh man,
Shit!
I'm it's like perception
could've
and
been
insight
better.
of my jam, but I've been rolling terribly.
It's just not your night. I'm sorry, Gretel. Okay, all right. So you see a lot of, like I said, there's a mix of individuals here. So let's see. So for Genera, okay, let's see. Genera, Dagmar, a theory. Okay, so a theory.
Mhm.
Let's see. Dagmar. See what you'll Dagmar.
Errol, please don't send me a message that says something along the lines of Dagmar notices tables.
14 is better than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only slightly, but it's better.
He's like, and there's chairs.
Let's see. I need the Varin. I'm kind of working my way down, so.
Press 1 now to play the message.
Oh.
Oh, who's
What was
playing
that?
what message?
Sorry, that was work.
No work during D&D.
No, I hung up on.
I hung up on them. Not me getting
My
caught on a
boss.
live stream telling work to go away.
My boss. No, it was an automated message. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh, like fancy? Okay.
And finally, Gradall. Okay. There you go. Also, yeah, a theory at an 18. Okay, so from there, you guys have noticed several things and several people inside the tavern. So I don't know what you guys want to do. Or you can start to discuss it and try to pick out people from the crowd.
You don't happen to have a drawing, like that's not something you prepared for that individual you noted to me. Unless
I
you
love your answers.
unless you did.
Very descriptive, right, Janera?
Yeah, it's perfect, actually. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but seems like, the usual group of people you'd find out and about and hanging out in a tavern. Noticed we got a couple conference goers over there, and I kind of point to one of the tables where there's two dwarves and an elf arguing with each other over something archaeological or I don't know.
If that's the case, then when we have our conversation with Madison, we may want to do so in private.
I also notice a couple thugs, maybe some day workers, very, very muscular. They seem to be about to arm wrestle, so I don't know. Like Daenerys said, very typical tavern goers.
Dagmar, are you seriously gonna let somebody in the room be stronger than you?
I haven't
Oh.
finished my donut. Then we'll
You
talk.
said you weren't eating your donut here. You said you were
I'm-
taking it to the road. I think you should go arm wrestle them.
She changed her mind.
Start shoveling a donut down her mouth.
I like,
Varn, you are the worst kind of instigator, and I am here for it.
Oh my god.
It's my specialty.
I just like the image of like Dagmar taking that donut and like shoving it like in her mouth and that like one finger push to like put it all the way in, and her like mouth is like bulging and like the sugar is just kind of falling out, and she has like the sugar on her hands, so she has to like dust her hands off, and then like sits down at like the table, kind of still chewing donut and like sugar and like weird crumbs still in her hands. Like let's go.
Let's fight. Well, if I find out that those are the guys that are making Madison act the way he is, I'll totally do that.
No, like Madison doesn't seem to be paying attention to. Madison doesn't give any more attention to any of the guests than you would expect of a person waiting tables.
So kind of like absent-mindedly waiting
Yeah.
tables. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of now you before he seemed to be nervous and like looking around a whole lot, but now he seems to be like the opposite now. Like he's lost in thought. Um, um, kind of going through the motions automatically. Eventually, once everyone is sort of tucked away, and you notice some of the people, some of the guests have left, or other people are kind of quietly sitting in their chairs, nursing a drink, and slightly nodding off to sleep. But the archaeologists in the corner are still arguing, very vigorously, completely lost in that conversation. He pulls up a chair, but he does the thing where he grabs the top of the chair, like the back of the chair, drags it towards you, spins it, and then he sits down backwards in the chair and kind of like puts his elbows like on the back of the chair to lean in and put his like chin on his hands. And it's like, okay, tell me about your day.
Huh.
Don't be shy.
Before we tell you about ours, why don't you tell us about yours? How about?
Oh, okay. Well, I've been in here all day, serving tables. Somebody threw up earlier. Had to clean that up. So hopefully you don't smell anything too bad. Don't want to ruin your appetite. Had a nice deal. A fishmonger came in. Actually with some shellfish. So hoping to make some nice clam chowder for myself later.
That sounds
And
amazing.
for you, do you there's someone over there in the corner. Looks kind of a county banky type. Who's that? Who's that dude?
Oh, you mean Money McMoneybags? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's what he looks like. What's he
Oh,
doing in this?
I actually
Tavern.
I don't know his name, but I do notice him come in once in a while. He always orders the same thing. He always orders a coffee, toast, eggs, sugar toast and eggs. Yeah, and then
Okay,
yeah,
so he's just a local.
yeah. Although I'm a little bit
Doesn't
surprised.
cause trouble.
This is as far as I know. I mean, but it does surprise me for him. He seems to be pretty well off and eating here.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Can I gesture to the, unless it was the same person already mentioned? Can I gesture to the elf and see if he can tell me anything? Like, do you know anything about that individual over there?
That is the same individual. That's
Oh, it is. Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay. Grado?
Hey, guys, real quick.
Hmm?
It'd be nice to know somebody who might be wealthy if we're looking for a boat.
Hey.
Maybe, but in my experience, wealthy people usually want something in return for their services, and it's never usually something nice.
We could just put their name on the boat. Everything will be okay.
Well,
Or
to paraphrase something I've heard before, behind every great fortune is a huge asshole.
Yes,
fair.
paraphrased, I'm sure.
I mean, or if said person is well off, maybe they already own a boat and we can just,
We can steal it.
Take it.
alleviate them of it.
Yes.
Borrow.
Are we saying this in front of Madison?
Telepathically.
Telepathically. One day we'll all learn message. We'll all be able to cast message at the same time.
I assume this entire conversation is in Pig Latin, and you can see Madison kind of like look from person to person and is kind of like whisper, like leans in and whispers, like, "Guys, I understand Pig Latin."
Oh, no, it was just a joke, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But-
an inside thing.
We have
But-
a weird taste in humor.
Oh,
But
well,
we'll be happy. Sorry, go ahead.
oh well. I mean, like, go ahead and tell me about your day.
Well, we ended up at the last place that we expected to end up, which was this archaeology conference over at the university.
Oh yeah, a lot of guests recently have been archaeologists. Interesting conversations. A lot of things about pig
Yeah.
teeth.
Well, the weird thing is that we're not archaeologists. We're from Clarg, and the reason we've been looking into all this weird archaeology stuff is that we've been encountering some of these cursed artifacts in Clarg that did some real harm to a friend of ours. Two of our employees were killed as a result of this thing, and she ended up being kidnapped. So some seriously bad news all around. So we were there just trying to figure out what the heck was going on with these cursed artifacts, and next thing we know, there were a whole bunch of weird creatures devouring books and a weird dwarf lady jumping up on tables. And I basically described what happened with Perkta and the gremlins.
Okay, well, I'm kind of interested in how you're sort of describing it because you're like cutting out details and like mixing around the order of events. So I'm kind of like, huh.
Am I?
A little.
Yeah, kinda like
you can
backwards.
entirely attribute that to the player rather than the character.
Okay. Okay. So we'll assume that's a little more detail and coherent explanation. So, Madison, Madison is still kind of. You can see he's very, very attentive. He takes in every detail that you give him. He's actually now. When you say you explain everything about Perkta and the gremlins, like just how detailed do you go? Like, do you talk about how you killed the gremlins? Do you talk about the statues? Like, what exactly do you go? How much detail do you go into?
I just basically simply describe Perkta, including the chicken feet, and describe the gremlins, but I don't talk about the statues or how we ended up getting rid of them.
Okay. So he's kind of interested, and he's like, huh, all right. Interesting. Then that is the next question is like, okay, then how did you get rid of them? I mean, you're still here, so they didn't hurt you, or did they just leave? Like, what happened to them?
I'm feeling maybe like I'd say. Hold on, I got a quick. About percentage. I'm feeling about 6% hurt from them. That's about it.
So they
Nothing
hurt you.
nothing too bad.
They hurt
I
you.
wouldn't say
then.
they hurt me. I'm pretty strong.
Okay. So like, Madison begins to look at each of you individually and looks you all both up and down. He measures each of you like individually. You're all carrying weapons, right? So he like looks at sees your weapons,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay.
All except me. I only have my staff of flowers.
Okay, so then he's like, okay, so did you guys kill the gremlins? Did you kill kill Perkta? Like, how did this
You
end?
seem very intrigued by it. Am I allowed to insight to check this? I know this insight check has to have like a reason. So like, can I insight check to see if he's like he seems like he's trying to get extra information out of us, like almost in a shifty way.
Like, okay, so I mean, he is getting information out of you. That's why he's asking you questions, Varn.
Yes, no, I know that, but I mean like okay, so it sounds like he's not just trying to be like friendly bartender trying to get info from us. It's like he has an ulterior motive. Can I insight to see if he seems like he's trying to find like information for somebody?
For somebody, that's a little bit too specific, Varn, and then so.
Okay. Then can I insight check to see if he's trying to get I don't know how to describe this. I'm like trying to insight whether he's being genuinely curious or whether he's like he seems like he's trying to get a specific piece of like information about like he already knew it happened and he's seeing if we're gonna admit to it.
Like, being
Someone help
perceptive
me.
of his, like, facial expression changes.
Does he seem to be devious or is he trying to like genuinely ask us about our day?
I'd love to
Someone
know.
over here.
I'd love to see if I can determine his reaction when I describe the creatures, the gremlins and Perkta, whether his reaction is a negative one, as if he doesn't like them, or a positive one. You know, when I describe the creatures, does he recognize any of the descriptions that I give him?
Okay, so you describe Perkta, you describe the gremlins. With your description, he leans in very, very interested. And it's like he's nodding and hanging on to your every word. And it's like, interesting, right? And like he keeps kind of like, tell me more. And then finally, when your description ends, he kind of sort of leans back, but not too far, because right, he's sitting backwards in the chair, so he has no back to lean against. Kind of with his arms crossed, and it's like, huh, okay, interesting story. I don't think that I've ever heard that before. Not in this town, anyway.
What makes you so further intrigued? Is it just because you haven't heard about it before, or
Well, I haven't heard that kind of thing happening here in Oak Ridge, so.
where have you heard it happen?
It's well, kind of interested in these sorts of things. You know, I have a hobby of monster
come on,
hunting.
no!
And he
We were
winks at
doing
you.
so well. I knew he was going to be a conspiracy theorist.
He looks at you like conspiracy theorist. Like, what conspiracy are you talking about?
Nobody on the larger realm of people know much about these so-called gremlins.
Like,
They're seen less than expected. Let's just put it that way.
well, he kind of winks at you. It's like, I'm not like most other people.
Of course you're not.
Yeah.
I'd like to do another insight check at that moment, please.
You guys keep rolling insight check. Like you're gonna try to insight roll his entire life story. Like you guys can't.
No, see,
Well,
I
he
lost my
keeps-
desire
he
to
keeps
insight
giving off
after that.
These different vibes. He goes from nervous to overly confident, angry, and determined,
No, so he's
and
trying to
now
see
he's
if
just
we're
acting
cool.
super shady.
No, he's trying to see if we're cool. He's basically like an alien enthusiast in the real world, but like he's trying to like see if we're like legit or if we're gonna call him crazy. Daryl's trying to traumatize us again.
I'm always trying to traumatize you. That is the default.
I know you are. Okay,
Can
I'm gonna ask him. So Gretel, you explained all of the appearances to him.
Yeah, and
Has
if you,
anyone brought up the statues yet at all, or?
I want to leave that out in case he's trying to. Well,
Perfect. Okay, I just
yeah.
want to make sure.
I'd specifically
So
leave that out. Yeah.
so then I'm gonna look back at him. I'm gonna be like, so have you heard of these specific creatures appearing in other places, or what? Let's say what usually draws them to a place. If you have heard of them being somewhere else before.
So he looks at you guys like all in the eye, and he's like, "Okay, cut to the chase. How'd you guys get rid of him? I know you did.
Um,
I mean, we killed them.
No, you
So
didn't just kill them. You did something else. I know you did." Kind of looks at
we
Grad.
hit him real
Like,
hard.
what are you? Are you the
We
spellcaster here?
slaughtered them and I beheaded a couple of them. Look at my face, it's covered in blood.
Oh, I'm sure you
We-
did. But there's one thing. I felt it.
What'd you
Felt
feel?
it.
You guys did something.
What
We
did you
may have done
feel?
something, but it wasn't to get rid of them.
Yeah, it was. I felt a tingling.
What?
Where did you feel this tingling? Was this before or after you laid eyes on Dagmar?
Hey, wink, wink.
It's like, jeez. I get this every day.
Me too.
He's like, yeah, I felt it. You guys did something. You cast this spell about like 3 or 4 hours ago.
How could you feel when somebody casts a spell?
Because that's what I'm asking you. Wasn't a normal spell. You guys did something. What was it?
yeah,
Have you
but
Well,
talked to anybody else about that feeling?
Well, no. 'Cause
I
nobody here's gonna get
guarantee
it.
no one else. Yeah, no one else in here would have had a fucking magic tingle. Like, why are you connected with this? What?
Okay, everybody
what-
felt it, and I'm sure you did too, but you just didn't understand what it was. But I do.
Okay. So hypothetically, let's say there was a hypothetical thing that occurred.
Happened to a friend.
Yeah, something like that. Have you ever felt this before?
Not this big.
Okay, and if you are so persistent on knowing what it was, how about you tell us, and we'll corroborate our stories here.
Kind of like,
Because we are a group, we know each other, but like we want to make sure that like you're not gonna go tell everybody about us, right? We want to make our own legacy and stories, and some things we don't want other people getting all suspicious about. You know?
he like looks at you, like looks at your mandolin, and like looks you up and down. It's like, oh, branding. I get it. Okay, size. It's like, okay, all right. So, guys, I'm not from the area. I'm from a town called Blackwater. It's pretty far east of here. And actually, my family's trained me in, well, monster hunting. Okay, so I know that you fought fairies, and I know you put up like a anti-fairy barrier, but I've never felt it that big before. So I'm just wondering, who are you? What were you doing? And how'd you put that thing up?
My affection for him grows more and more.
Um,
I totally can I do another insight check now to see if he's telling the truth?
Go for it.
Thank you.
1.
Son of a bitch!
Jeez.
I got a +7 to insight, and I haven't rolled over 14 all night. The hell?
all right. Well, so I'm gonna go with the idea that maybe he is being why Dagmar
She wants to
Dagmar.
charm him.
Dagmar.
This is my way. I basically rolled convince, and it worked. So
to
now
do
I've
what?
charmed him.
No. Okay, first off, Dagmar, you gotta tell me what you're gonna try to do first, then you roll, okay? Because, okay, this is the scientific method at play here, everybody. Folks, this is scientific method in Dungeons & Dragons. First, you have to set up your testing protocol first, then you test the results. Otherwise, right, like, confirmation bias is gonna come in, and you're gonna, like, cherry pick and stuff like that. So,
Oh, good lord!
okay,
I was
Dagmar.
gonna stop her, but now she has to do it.
Okay,
so.
Dagmar, what are you doing?
Well, basically, I kind of, what is it? I flaunt my eyelashes at him or whatever, and I just kind of lean back in the chair, and I put one arm on the back of the chair, and then I just kind of give him the look, and then I say something like, "Is that true, sweetheart?" or something.
Oh my goodness, you're doing like the Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes thing with like the eyelashes, like you kind of
Yeah.
kissy faces, like literal kissy faces. Oh my goodness.
Who else but Dagmar?
Now
But it worked.
okay,
Look at
so
that charm.
okay, wait, hold on. That means we have to go over the ritualistic displays of romance and affection among orcish populations of the
damn it.
Northwest. There we go. Thank you
I
very
just said
much.
stop.
Fuck on it, of course.
Oh my
Only
God.
Daryl. Only if you use your best David Attenborough impression.
Oh my God.
Alrighty. Okay, so for the first time tonight, you see him blush. Okay.
Hey.
All right. Wait. What did you want him to do? What were you asking again, Dagmar? I'm sorry.
I wanted him to tell me if he was being truthful about what he said.
Okay. So his response is, "I would never lie to you, Green Bean."
Oh,
Whoa. Okay.
My journal didn't lie. He totally has the hots for me, guys. So you not from around here then, huh?
No.
And you You go out there and you track down big monsters and stuff, and you kill them and whatever, right?
I honestly, I haven't done it in a long time. I kind of moved away from home so I
Oh.
could stop doing that.
Oh, what do you want to do now?
Well, I mean, this, I guess, for right now, waiting tables, serving up drinks. Just to, to kind of find myself.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Like, I'm lost. I don't know. How do I navigate this?
This is Dagmar, like, going through puberty, like, all the feels.
How did you get interested in the whole gremlin thing?
Gremlins? I
Wink.
mean,
He literally just told
Very.
us like 5 minutes ago.
I'm reconfirming it.
Oh my god. You're so bad at this.
well,
I said that in character. I'm saying that in character. I am the bard. I am allowed to say that.
I'm gonna kick the leg of the chair that Zavarin is sitting in, and then he falls over.
I would like to make an athletics check to not fall over.
Okay, I'm gonna...
Actually, I'd say that's acrobatics because
Okay.
I'm saving myself.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, like, I'm gonna kind of, like, tamp down on the violence here just a little bit. Dagmar kicks Varn's chair hard enough for the chair to slide, and you get the right as it scrapes across the wood floor, and he kind of, like, stops and, like, kind of does a little tilt for a second, but doesn't fall over.
Bet.
All right, fair enough.
I'll lean back a little bit, slouch a little bit in my chair, put my hands behind my head, and just put my feet out like I'm reclining back almost.
Okay.
All right. So Maddie, which coincidentally is my dog's name.
Maddie and Green Bean.
Her full name's not Madison, but it very, very well could have been. It's Madeline. So Maddie, why were you so nervous when we walked in here?
Well,
Wink.
because I felt the protection circle go up, but I didn't know what it was protecting from, right? But now you described it, right? So now I know what it was. I know what to do. I can handle it. I'm pretty sure I can handle it.
Okay. Handle what?
Well, getting rid of the gremlins or getting rid of...
We've
Pearl.
already done that.
Okay.
Babe, we're beyond that. We've done that. Wait, well, hold on. You know Pearl?
Well, you said her name
No.
already.
No,
Rattled-
I said Perkta. I never said Pearl.
Pearl
Well-
is what she goes by with friends.
Ha ha! He, like, throws his head back and laughs a little bit, like, actually kind of, like, kicks up a little bit. Oh.
Hey, damn, can I insight check this guy now?
I
insight
never
check him?
said
No, I'm
Perkta.
gonna insight check him.
Okay, go for it.
That one deserves
Ditto.
an insight check. Out of all of the things that deserve an insight check, that's the first one that deserves an insight. That's a
There we
17.
go.
Why
I-
is he being- is he being-
26 from
Is he
me.
being big boy sus right now?
Big boy sus.
Okay, so I'm just gonna
never
describe
said
this.
Pearl.
I'm
I
gonna
said
describe
Perkta.
this on the stream so that you guys can have the satisfaction. He's not laughing, like, with her, he's laughing at you guys.
What?
He kind of
He
laughs
probably
and is
thinks
like,
we're
"You guys made you guys made a typical mistake, but that's cool. That's okay. You guys saved the day in the end anyway."
What?
Like,
All right. I'm gonna. While he's laughing, I'm going to go away from my like reclined-ish position, and I'm gonna lean towards him, and I'm going to ask him, "Do you genuinely believe this entire situation is comical?"
is what comedy? No, of course it's a serious threat, but again, you guys don't realize Pearl is a fairy. Fairies play games. She gave you the rules of the game. If you call her Perkta, that means you're an enemy. That means she's going to screw with you. If you call her Pearl, that means you're a friend. That means she's not going to mess with you.
How do you know her?
I don't know her personally, but I know the rules of the game, right? That's what this is. To fairies, it's a game.
Actually, guys, that's right. Because remember when she introduced herself, she said, "My friends call me Pearl."
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. But how would he just? If he doesn't know her, how would he just know about the two names?
Okay. I'm gonna do you a
Because he
favor,
hunts
and I'm gonna
monsters.
remind you that he is literally a Fey hunter.
retired.
What?
He doesn't
No.
He doesn't hunt monsters anymore.
No, phase.
Yeah, those are monsters.
Those are monsters.
Okay, the point is he's literally trained to do this, okay? Which means that even if he is or isn't actively doing it, he knows all of this stuff. He's like the regional fairy Van Helsing, all right?
That's actually really cool.
That's actually kind of a title I'd like to have one day, but whatever.
Or he probably knows everyone.
I don't know
What if
everyone.
he is a fae?
So then, I have a question for you then, Madison. Do you know anything about this big, hairy thing that disappears into orange light?
You mean a Sasquatch?
Yeah, that.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, wow. Now he gets very excited, like rubs his hands together. He's like, oh, you guys are squatchers too? Oh, man. Great.
I am not. They are.
I mean, I'm curious because we've seen it more than once.
Like his eyes kind of go big. It's like, oh, wow. I've only been able to see like pictures of them, and they've always been like really blurry because they've been old and like the inks have run.
Wait,
there
we
a-
have photographs now?
No photographs. Some people drew an image, but the ink ran, so it became fuzzy.
Smart.
Huh.
But do Sasquatches usually disappear in orange light? Because didn't we see Perkta do pretty much the exact same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
But it's because Sasquatch is a fairy.
Well, yeah, and didn't you know? Like, Sasquatch is like married to Perkta.
Married to?
I just threw my pen. Hey, real Maddie, can you get me my pen back?
I actually did this. I'm stepping out of the role for a moment. I actually foreshadowed Perkta, like back at the Mesa. If you go back and you rewatch it, I actually mention a woman in white.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Because I originally said a white woman, and then like no, not a white woman, a woman who wears white, and then you guys like all laughed and made jokes about white women being in trouble.
That's true.
Apparently so.
Denying that, but
So you guys didn't know all this? You guys are kind of behind on the game.
I'm new here, so I don't want any blame put on me. I think that I'm still learning the ropes of this region.
We're not interested in the game. We're just interested in protecting people in our city. That's it.
Of course, it's not a game to us, but it's a game to them, or well, Pearl rather. That's always the trouble.
Us. Was that from Madison saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. When you say us, do you mean this group right here, or do you mean a group you have?
I mean the collective royal us, right? Like everybody who's not a fairy.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I was just asking.
Wow, you're
I didn't know if
paranoid.
you had. No, I was wondering if you had a group that might be able to help us, like a network. Like if we ever needed to call on people in other places, perhaps more north of here.
Well, not really. I retired, remember? Trying to stay away. Trying not to get back into it too much.
Fair enough. So do you? Sorry if I'm derailing anything anyone else was about to say, but do you know anything about a certain professor that might be
Professor? He
quite
like points
old?
over at like the three archaeologists in the corner still arguing.
I'd say one that is quite older and more bony in nature.
Older and bonier? Sounds kind of ageist.
I am not.
Okay,
Fair enough, though.
okay, but be more specific. I mean, like, what do you...
You know about a lich in Oak Ridge?
A lich in
Okay.
that
Oak
was loud.
Ridge.
Just throwing that into the world. All right,
sorry.
cool.
Sorry.
Like, he now Madison is very, very surprised and looks noticeably nervous, like a lich. Here?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
A
What you talking
professor.
about, Willis?
There
There's-
happens to just be a professor who's been reigning as a professor for quite many hundred years.
The person running the show at Oakbridge, at the University of Oakbridge,
Thank you.
is a lich.
Well, so, like, wait. Okay, so, okay, guys, you gotta fill me in, right? Your story just took a weird left turn. You're gonna have to, like, explain more from the top, please.
There's an old professor. That's all you need to know right now.
An old professor that's a lich.
Yeah,
So-
that's normal for some universities.
So apparently one of the founders of the university was a human at some point, and somehow she managed to turn herself into a lich. She doesn't always teach at the university, if I am remembering correctly. She founded it, teaches someplace else. She's currently here for the conference.
Like, Madison is, like, really befuddled, and, like, okay.
Do I remember? Did she teach or go to graduate school in Westlake?
Oh, okay, so I don't have the details straight because I think I messed up a couple of sessions. But what it is, right? If you remember her origin story, she went to Westgate and she attended the prestigious university in Westgate. Got her undergraduate degree there. And I guess her master's in would be at a similar institution. But remember, she has like dozens and dozens of PhDs, which she basically just got everywhere through correspondence. Oh wait, better keep that tucked in my notes there. Sorry, you didn't hear that. But yeah, she did say that a lot of her education came from Westgate, a prestigious university.
Is it? I'm from Westgate. Would I know that? Is it actually called prestigious university?
It is called that because that's a joke I made with Sarah, like way back, like in the first year of Goblin Town.
Of course it is. So, being a resident of Westgate, but would I be familiar with prestigious university?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most prestigious university in the area.
So yes,
But remember, she
this
got her
particular
undergraduate degree there like 1,000 years ago, so you're gonna have to like dust off the yearbook to find her.
yeah. But yeah, she was a guest lecturer. She gave a plenary address at the conference.
So you saw her,
Yeah,
huh?
she's creepy AF.
Yeah, I would imagine as such.
But it's strange. All the other archaeologists treated it like it was normal.
Well, I mean, archaeologists deal with a lot of bones, so I guess a lich who's made of bones is not that surprising. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really not. All my professors looked like that. Um,
Remember, guys, if you make a joke about archaeology professors, that's going to include Michael here.
No, that's okay. I'm cool with it.
no, Mike's one of the cool ones. Maybe it's something in the water here in Washington.
No, there are plenty of assholes in New England too.
Yeah.
And confirm.
Yeah.
In the 70, 80 age range.
Yep.
I was gonna just
Yeah.
say present company excluded, and the rest were kind of free game. I'm not still in school. I don't care. I'm not gonna get an F for saying that.
I just They write you an email and they're just like, "Did you just call us freaky?"
And I will just respond back, "Thank you for watching our stream."
Yeah. Thank you for adding to our viewership.
I got at least 3 of them that follow me on Instagram now, so see if I
Oh,
care.
there you go.
Okay, so like relevant questions for Madison, like sub like out of it a little bit. I did mention before that we should check to see if we can learn any more from him now that we know that he's like probably got some more information about questions we have. So if you guys have any questions, now is probably a good time to ask them about
A theory.
characters or anything.
A theory. You've been pretty quiet. Do you have any questions?
No, I think you guys all the questions that I had.
Theory's been busy pickpocketing that banker in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I was
About
thinking.
Good.
Fantastic.
Can that be real? We need that money.
Trying to figure out if that was a good guy or a
Low-key.
bad guy, though, because Theory went through a little bit of an arc prior to her entrance to Clark, and is trying to only steal for good purposes.
Well,
I
We need-
did
let me
not
ask you a
make that
question.
commitment, so can
Does
I
he
try
look
to
happy?
fucking
Well, Madison, didn't seem to have anything bad to say about him.
Actually, I don't want Madison to kick me out of the bar, so I'm not going to pickpocket him.
You're right.
Its
Yeah.
perception is probably higher than my sleight of hand. On that note, how much do we owe for the donuts and the drinks?
They were
Let me see.
free.
Oh, cool, Dagmar. I'll make a note of that.
Yeah, make sure we really got to be talking, keeping track of money a little bit. It doesn't have to be that accurate, but we still need to have an idea of how much you're carrying. Because if you're going to buy a boat, you can't just say like, "Hey, I have a penny." Does
Right.
that count?
Okay, so chances are it was like two silver for the drinks and 10 copper for the
Okay,
donuts or
hold
something?
on. I have some stuff here. So, right there. Let me see, because they have it here. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, so for a mug of ale is 4 copper. So since I'm guessing it's not a mug of ale, it's cans of beer. So I'll say every beer is like 2 copper. You guys got a 6-pack between the 5 of you. A 6-pack, 12 copper. Loaf of bread is 2
All right.
copper. So let's do a dozen donuts. Let's do 10 copper. So it's a total like 22 copper, which is 2 silver, 2 copper. Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin your entire point of reading that out. I'm gonna pay for the group. I'm going to toss him 1 gold and tell him to keep the change.
You don't pay him. You paid the donut shop earlier.
Oh,
No,
I
that's
thought
right.
we got the
He
donuts here.
flings it all
Okay.
the way across
we
town.
brought him home.
Okay,
Okay.
so sorry then for the drinks, I'm still going to give him 1 gold and tell him to keep the change because he's been super helpful to us.
Okay, well then that would have gone to the donut shop, right? Because that's where you got the beer.
Oh, okay. Well then, just fine. I gave the donut shop 1 gold. Let's
Okay.
just call it that.
Yeah.
I
Right.
like the donut shop. Okay.
Thank you,
Who doesn't like a
sir.
donut shop?
Yeah.
He's Varon.
So what is like Madison's reaction to a lich being at the university? Is this something like how concerned does he seem to be about that?
You want to do an insight check again?
Oh god, the number of insight checks I've had to do.
He looks nervous. He basically what he looks nervous. Not quite as nervous as he was when you first walked in, but now he's worried. He's visibly worried.
You seem to be fairly worried about this individual. I'd lie if I said I wasn't worried too.
Do you know how long this? You said this individual's more than 1,000 years old, right?
Yeah.
And they've been in Oak Ridge that long?
No,
No.
they're just in Oak Ridge for the conference.
Okay. Huh. Are they leaving after the conference?
We honestly don't know.
Well, I guess I'll have to keep an eye out then.
Probably. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, we might be leaving town, but while we're gone, you can take care of that little pest problem of ours.
So should we just tell him about the statues?
Uh,
Sidebar, like
anything
whisper
for
to-
you, Green Bean. Winks.
Can I whisper that to Gretel? Can I just be like, hey, do you think we should mention the statues and everything? See if he knows anything about those.
All right, I'm gonna do one last insight check into this dude to see if he's on the up and up before we tell him about the statues. Now, the last one I
think
rolled was a
it's safe to
26,
assume he is
but
at this point.
let's see.
Because I mean, like he's not like lying to us. It's not like he's trying to skirt around what we're saying. He's being genuine. He mentioned the thing about Pearl.
I will wait for the DM to respond to the insight check, and then I'll give you, depending on the results, I'll give you a thumbs up or thumbs down on that.
Okay.
So I turn to Madison and say, you seem to be seriously pondering the issue of the lich and working through the problem in your head. Are all liches by their very nature evil?
Yes. To be lich is to be evil.
What brings you to that conclusion?
it's it's the process of becoming a lich, right? Like if you become a lich, you have to do bad things. I'm not sure exactly, but it's just it's like a black magic. It's like a dark magic. You don't to do it means you have to do something bad.
Yeah, I mean we've all done some bad things in life, haven't we?
Would
I just
would
gesture to the
stealing
rest of the group. Like,
would
right?
stealing this Madison would stealing the contained corpse of a demon for the purpose of eventually letting it out into the world, would that be the sort of evil thing that a lich would do?
I don't know. Honestly, I've never met a lich or fought a lich. I mean, they're very rare, so people don't really know a lot about them, and so they're very individualistic. So possible, I guess. It's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Oh, so they're rare and people don't know much about them, and you're just making these generalized assumptions about them, like they're all evil. Okay.
Or
Well, no, I mean, like, think about it. Like, the lich is like a zombie or like a skeleton. That's necromancy. You basically do some sort of necromantic spell on yourself. That that's what a lich is.
I mean, I've known some necromancers that are fun at parties.
Madison gives you serious side eye.
Just like everybody in the room just kind of looks at me like you know what?
but you said
'cause you're-
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just because you're fun at parties doesn't mean you're a good person.
This is true.
For the so you said evil acts, right? Have to be performed and then to go through that kind of process. Do you mean like killing people? And not the intention of killing people or wanting to have the intention of killing people, but actually doing that in the past or like innocent lives or
Oh, I don't
or
know.
what?
That's the thing is, it's like it's a really odd thing to do, right? So we can't. Uh, no one knows exactly how they do it, but they do it, right? And it's a very powerful um, spell or process or whatever it is. So I can't give you any details on that.
Well, I don't feel comfortable leaving her alive now.
I
Oh.
mean,
To be fair,
But
I never did.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Just because somebody did something bad in the past doesn't mean that they're still bad today.
Did you actually
This
say
is
that out loud?
true.
Yeah, I said that out loud.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
well,
say
probably not in the case of a
I
lich.
agree.
Well, that and she's still, I mean, she doesn't want to she's going around looting corpses from different cultures and refusing to give them back. I'd say that she's not like maybe she's not going around killing people if that's what she did in her past, but she's not good now. She's like she's not she hasn't turned over a new leaf exactly yet. So
Well, 1,000 years old. I guess she's set in her ways. Ha 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 ha. Nervous laugh.
Gosh.
So it's getting late. So he gives you the pointy gun fingers. Like, I gotta go clean up now.
All right. Well, I guess thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for the story. It's nice to hear a good story sometimes.
oh. Oh wait, hold on. Do you want to join our party?
Join your party.
Yeah, like
Uh,
leave this tavern behind and come monster hunting with us. Maybe I don't know. It might be fun.
You missed the whole he's retired.
He kind of like thinks it over. Like, give me a night to think it over.
Okay. Wink.
Like I kind of left home because I kind of wanted to get away from monster hunting for a while, but
Oh, we don't have to do that. You can just come with us.
and what? Cook food for you? Like oatmeal and sardines?
Mm.
God, really?
We might be going up to my village where my people are from if you want to meet some orcs and meet my brother and get permission to marry me from my parents or whatever. I don't know.
Is that the part? Did you actually say that, or you just like under your breath? Like what? What? I don't hear that. What?
I like how this just turned into a dating sim.
C14 dating.
Yeah.
Imported.
I hope Kitty T is or what's her Discord handle is watching.
Kitty, yeah.
Kitty.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'll give you the night to think about that, and we'll reconvene in the morning.
Are you gonna
Sweet
provide a
cheeks.
dowry?
I don't need one. Don't worry about it. We'll just talk about it in
No,
the
I mean
morning.
you to Madison's family to buy him.
Sure. Well, we can talk about that. Yeah, think it over. Wink.
Okay. He like haha, a little bit, kind of an awkward laugh, and like walks off.
I screwed that one up.
I'm thinking I'm wondering if he's gonna have a little bit of a saucy step, like kind of shake his hips a little bit more than usual.
Hey.
That was hilarious.
Hey guys, what does your party do? Well, our barbarian just uses her charisma. She doesn't actually rage.
Oh my god.
Great, now I have to like draw Madison like shirtless.
Oh, could you please? Maybe with like some ripped jeans instead of the tights and little frock thing he's got going on.
Jeans didn't exist
if
in
you
medieval
wanna-
times.
If you want to commission something from Daryl separately, you have to do that on a separate Discord channel, I think.
There's a website for that.
Oh my god.
Okay, so so Madison's is off. You can hear him talking with the cook in the kitchen. You hear pots and pans, kind of clanking around as they're washing up and closing up for the night, closing the kitchen. You know, throwing out wastewater, turning off any fires, and just overall sort of wiping down the tables. and sing everybody out the door or up to the rooms. Is there anything you guys gonna do?
Well, we have to sleep for the night, but I say we sleep on it. It's late and everybody's there. If they're closing up the shop, then I assume it's like what 2 in the morning or something.
Well, let's just say it's like midnight or whatever. I mean, he's not closing up the shop, but he's like putting it away because at this point, nothing is happening, right?
Sorry, was there like a tavern? Was there like a an inn
This is the end.
with rooms? Yeah, there's like rooms available though.
Yeah.
We already have 2 rooms.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I zoned for a bit. Then yeah, let's kind of go wrap it up then. We'll do that for the eve and start fresh, so I can get my 3 hit points back.
Yeah. And I'm completely out of spell slots, so I wouldn't mind replenishing those.
Look, I know your spell slots mean a lot to you too, but like I'm down 3 hit points.
Are you down 3 hit points, or are you down 3 hit points?
I'm
There's a
down
difference between those two.
3 whole hit points. You know how much of an influence that makes on my daily life?
Probably none whatsoever.
A lot. I'm not a barbarian.
I have 55 hit points.
What? Say that again. You should have a lot more than that compared to me. I guess I did take a level in fighter.
It's up to you, man.
All right, should we rest for the night then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's no need to think for anything other than an uneventful evening, correct?
Are we doing sleeping in shifts for the night, or are we just crashing because it's an inn?
If it's an inn, we just crash. I was more gonna say like nobody has like nightmares or something. Right? Just uneventful normal evening.
Yeah, if
There-
you tuck in for the night, there's
Daryl is suspiciously silent on that account.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is because we did run in with now what we know to be fey creatures, and there's always unpredictability when there's fey creatures.
I forgot to do something. I
So-
forgot to say something earlier, but it's fine. Okay, I'll do it right now.
Retcon it. Tell us now.
While you were talking with Professor Rath back at the university, and she was when you were talking with her, and she was putting away things, you thought you heard giggling in the distance, like giggling off in a corner, giggling off down the halls.
So they're not gone; they're just temporarily disabled from appearing. Okay, gotcha.
Well, no, wouldn't that have been Perkta? Pearl?
Yeah, she's a giggler.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just hope those statues run through the night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Wrath herself doesn't want the statues to go down, so none of the professors would want the students to get hurt, so we don't have to worry about them in that regard. And then with Perkta still poking around,
Can
like,
you
that's
say Pearl just for like our own sake, so he
yeah.
doesn't know how saying it.
Yeah. With Pearl poking around so much, like, I feel like that that's to be expected anyway. Like, regardless of what we do or where we go, she's probably just going to keep that up anyway, and has been doing that because she has a relationship somewhat with Wrath. So none of this really affects us or anything because I feel like it was just going to happen anyway. Methinks.
I'll take that valid assumption. Sure, why not?
Okay then.
So normal night.
Yeah, it's for the most normal night. I mean, yeah, I don't think anything happens to you, any of you. Not that any of you notice anyway. Ah,
Oh, come on.
okay. I'm trying to think because I remember I had something. I was thinking of something earlier, and it's no. We're not gonna. We're no, not yet. Okay. Anyways, so you wake up the next morning, bright, early. It's fresh. You can hear the creaking of wagon wheels, of people shouting again in the street, birds singing, crows cawing, dogs barking, cockroaches sort of clawing along the wooden floor, and a fresh smell of baking bread. Fresh smell of donuts and coffee.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure also that you guys are paying for 2 rooms. I'm gonna make you pay your bills. Who exactly is paying this? Make sure you mark it down.
How much are the rooms?
So lodging in stale. We'll do poor. 1 silver piece. So we'll do 2 rooms, 2 silver pieces. Yeah, we'll do that for right now. So, your first night, 2 silver pieces, and another night, 2 silver pieces.
Who's paying for the rooms?
Pay for the rooms because
Thank you.
I have some extra coins that I found in the cave.
Excellent.
Conveniently
I
picked up.
found them in a cave. No one will believe you. Just found them. I don't know. They're just sitting there.
They
They look
were
Wasn't
lonely.
from
I wanted
looting
to give them a
corpses,
good
it's
home.
fine.
they were in a box that some stranger was locked up in.
They look so lonely, just sitting there.
Yeah, I made friends.
Begging me to take it. So what can you do?
Okay. So it's a new day. What I'm wondering now is not what you're going to be doing, sorry, specifically for the day or for the breakfast. What I'm wondering is what are your plans now? I think this is a good time for you guys to discuss. What exactly are you going to do from here moving forward?
Pack up my fiance and get him on a boat.
Kidnap the orc and
Half-orc.
drag him to the north.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I was writing it in my notebook.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be aware of the plan. Wouldn't want to mess this up for Dagmar. I'd like to go to the north if everybody's okay with that. I mean,
Well, okay, so you guys are all gonna head north. I'm just wondering, are you gonna walk there, or are you gonna get
I
horses?
thought we were gonna get a boat, right?
Okay, so that means you have to head south first. So you're gonna go back to Clark, I assume. And I'm guessing you're gonna get a boat down in Clark and then move along the coast. Okay, let me pull up the map then. Woo, maps! Yay, maps!
We like maps.
Maybe.
But we sometimes like maps.
Let's see. Where's my world map?
Also, really quickly, can everybody tell me how much coin they have? I'm trying to keep track.
I have 19 gold, 25 silver, 100 copper,
Okay, hold on. 19 gold, 25 silver.
and 100 copper.
Okay.
And I have 1 moment, please.
Uh-huh.
Trying to find my equipment and gold stuff. I currently have 34 gold.
I'm just wondering if I should be making sure you guys have rations for the whole time that you're out. And technically, I don't think you guys have taken a bath this whole time, but whatever.
That's fine.
I have personally not taken a bath since I was in the mouth of a dinosaur, so I am probably revolting.
I mean,
What
but you're a dragonborn, so like, do you
So-
really
so
need to bathe?
what- Yes,
Stinky anyway.
I
I
mean, I don't know
absolutely
how
need to bathe. I need to get
How do-
between my scales.
how do lizards and snakes clean themselves? Do they do that?
They bathe themselves.
Wait,
Yeah, my
wait.
gecko goes
wait.
into the shower and just uses a little soap.
Wait. Do you shed? Like, do you just like is your bathing just you like shedding your skin?
Hold on, I need to ask Google. Dragonborn shed. Enter.
Because
Yes,
honestly,
in Dungeons and Dragons, like real life reptiles, dragons, dragonborn, or half dragons shed their scales.
yes.
They only
But
shed
what-
about twice a year, and they do tend to be grumpy because they're itchy and uncomfortable. Oh my god, I am definitely keeping that reality if it is. I don't even care if that's homebrewed. I am going to be doing that randomly at unforeseen times, and that is what we're going with.
But so do you just shed like a little bit at a time, or do
My
you like?
scales have dried blood from fights caked underneath the scales. I need a shower.
Okay, but
Ah.
I'm asking like, do you like a snake skin? Do you shed the whole thing, or do
I
you
would-
just?
Take the assumption that it would be similar to that of a smaller reptile, which would mean that it's kind of like, yes, they comes off in very large chunks. So like the head piece would come off all in one, like arms would come off in sleeves, but like anyway, there's like joints or stuff you might have some trouble, and there might be like smaller pieces that take a while to like scratch off.
Well, because I'm just wondering,
I'm
like,
scaled,
if
so
at one point you like shed and we just find like your shedded form and like Dagmar's like yelling at it because she thinks it's you.
oh, we are 100% gonna workshop this, and I will get back to you soon. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. Thank you so much for the brilliant ideas.
Shit.
We're gonna have a good time.
Oh my god.
So here's
Hey,
the
Dagmar.
thing. Sorry,
Yeah?
go ahead.
Oh, I have 23 gold,
20,
22 silver, 45 copper.
45. Gotcha. Thank you. I'm
Sorry,
putting
go-
together a Google document.
Go ahead, Grotto.
Well, I was thinking part of why we are here is to locate objects which are cursed, and they're cursed metal, right? I now have access to a locate object spell. Is that something that we could use to track them down? And
This can turn a
well,
Dragon
the
Ball.
thing is, we already know where they are, though. We know they're at the museum. We
The
know
university.
yes. At the well, according to NAGPRA law, any institution that has objects can be considered a museum.
Okay, so Nagpra exists here. Okay, well, maybe.
But no,
Oh.
it's just terminology.
No,
Um,
yeah. I mean, yeah, but
Yes. And we know that lich creature is evil. I don't think any of us are prepared to take on a lich, however. Certainly not one that's existed for thousands of years. So what's our next step?
Well, I think the locate object spell is going to be very handy.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm curious. DM, when we heard Perkta laughing, was that when we were examining the wrapped object?
no, it's more like everything was sort of finished and stuff like that.
Getting out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like kind of like a, oh yeah, we had fun.
Yeah, something like
Let's
that.
do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, so I guess, yeah, do we need to be concerned about this demon thing? Or do we need to keep poking the artifacts? Like,
Well, so did we decide that we would go check in with Dagmar's village before making any um final decisions of like stealing anything, or were we just gonna, grab the body and run? Or
Consult.
no.
We should consult with them first, but the problem
Mhm.
is they're so far away. If I had a message spell, I'd use that, but I don't believe I have one.
they
Message
probably
spell?
wouldn't take kindly to that. The
Yeah, I
message
think
does
it
not work that far away, I don't believe.
Message spell. Let me look it up.
message will work anywhere on the same plane of existence.
Oh,
The
really?
problem is that I don't, as a druid, I don't have it. If I was a cleric or a sorcerer or wizard, I could have it, but
Hey, as
Okay,
not
a
on the
so
druid
I'm
spell
gonna
list.
try to be a little bit clear. So message, specifically the spell called message in 5e can't do that. The message spell in 5e only has a
I'm
range of
thinking of
120.
I'm thinking of sending.
Okay,
Sorry.
sending. Right, yeah. So let me see here. Let me look up the rules here. In 4th edition.
Question. As a bard, can I redo my spells every day, or is that not a thing I can do?
Oh, what was that?
Can I redo my spells daily as a bard? I can't remember the rules on that. Is that any spellcaster can
No, it's
re-prepare?
it depends because different spellcasters have different rules. So some of them, like the wizard, the wizard can have, like, let's say, access to like 50 spells, but can only access, let's say, a dozen spells on any given day. So, but for a bard, for a sorcerer, I believe it's different. They only get a certain set of spells, and like that's it. Um, they can't have like a bunch all the time. Uh. No, I think, okay, so for you, for a bard, it's different. You have a certain set of spells,
Oh,
that's
I'm just
it.
known spells.
Yeah,
I
you
just
just
have
know
known
them,
spells.
and then that's it. But every time you level up, you can rearrange them.
Yeah, because I can't. Okay, yeah, because it's not like prepared spells. It's specifically like a warlock. Like I know them.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, it's. I'm still getting used to bard spell stuff because we only leveled up once,
Okay,
and I take a level in bard.
bard or fighter?
I took a level in fighter, so I didn't even add or adjust my spells at all.
Okay. Okay. I let me. Okay, actually, I lost my train of thought. What were we doing right now before?
We're trying to figure out what our game plan is going forward.
Well, yeah, but I was just wondering what the specific step we were doing.
Um,
Oh, yeah, you were trying
Um,
to communicate with the Dagmar's people.
Dagmar's people.
Yeah.
Well, I think we came to the conclusion last session that Dagmar was like, you can't send a bird because they'd literally shoot it down, and there's
Yeah.
probably no way to communicate with them beyond like
Right.
going there. So unless you had like some DM tip for us on how we could communicate with them, I don't really think it's going to be viable to try.
Well, okay, let me read sending, because sending I don't think is a good option either, because sending here is the text of sending. You send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. The creature
Yeah.
hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as a sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner immediately. The spell enables
Oh.
creatures with intelligence scores of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your message. You can send the message across
That
any distance and even to other planes of existence, but if the target is on a different plane than you, there's a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive. The problem is it's Gradal sending the message, not Dagmar. Gradal's
It would have to
unfamiliar
be
with
yeah.
any
Dagmar.
person.
Well,
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to send it anyway because it's not in a druid spell list. It would have to be Zvarn, but he took a level in fighter instead of bard, so he wouldn't have access to 3rd level spells yet. But that's okay.
Dude, that one would have been the one thing that would work because Dagmar's village and culture has a really close relationship with animals. So they wouldn't permit any animal that they don't know or are familiar with. They would know all of the animals from that area. So like a thought message that could probably work, but it'd have to be Dagmar. So yeah.
Well, it could be an adventure up there.
I'm gonna get caught on that idea that if it's an animal they don't recognize, they immediately kill it. So I'm thinking like, well, what about like animals that just happen to stray in the territory? No, it must die. Death sentence.
It's like it's just a nice, happy day. It pans onto the top of the village, and just like this strange-looking bird just flies out. You just see a spear catch it, and it just shoots to the ground.
No. I'm
Oh my-
thinking even worse. I'm thinking like a panda, like a fat, cuddly panda that gets lost in a storm and just kind of tumbles down the hill into like their territory, and they're like, "We don't recognize the creature. We must kill it!" And like spear right into the fat like panda's gut. Like, oh no.
Wow, I really thought this one through.
Endangered
Huh?
species.
Yeah.
It's
Whoops.
just back to the David Attenborough. It's just like the last of its kind. It just wanders in, and they just
A dodo
brutalize
bird.
it. just wrecked.
No, they'd make a note of it, and then they would, I don't know, but just a messenger bird would get shot down.
Okay.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
it's canon that anything would just get killed.
Oh my god.
You spawned it into existence. Suffer the
Yes.
consequences.
Well, I pooled all our money together, so we can. That I don't know. Maybe that'll get us a boat or something.
A boat or something.
I'll have to look at it, and I'll have to look up on Zillow the evaluations of boats at the current time.
Does that work for
Charmo
everybody though?
Impress.
To like, yeah. Does that work for everybody to help keep track of our money? We can just use this.
Great, because that helps me.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
We can look for cursed objects on our travels up north.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the issue is, I mean, is there anything that we really can do here to stop the trade of these objects? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Where these objects are, Kulog has a really big interest in these things.
Okay. I have. So we're in a city. Yes.
The question is if Quillog's interested in these objects, how close to the front is Oak Ridge?
Oh, that you're not sure of. Close enough to get refugees, but you're not sure if it's within striking distance.
Okay. So we're in a pretty. Can you bring up the map of the city we're currently in? We're in Oak Ridge.
Yes, we are.
All right. Could you please bring up the map of Oak Ridge for me, please? I'm
No,
trying
the
to see
area
like
or the
what
city?
size. The city specifically that we're currently in. Like
Well-
this is would it be safe enough to assume that a city of this size would have like a large variety of individuals in it, correct?
Large enough. Okay, so I mean, uh, okay, so I've tried to look up some ancient and medieval populations, and the thing is though, it's depending on which kind of like area you're talking about, the populations can swing wildly. Like populations in ancient China actually hit like hundreds of thousands of individuals. I think there might have even been like a 200 or 300,000 or like 500,000, maybe even a million person city. I can't remember. Pretty big in China. Um, but like in medieval Europe, pretty small. So, which is kind of where I'm more leaning. So this is a town of like, oh, maybe 10,000, I think, maybe less.
Okay, perfect. So we have a rogue with us, and to ask the DM a question, would I, as somebody who's hung out with rogues before, be aware of thieves' cant?
Uh, you might have heard it, but you don't know what it is.
No. I obviously don't know it or anything, but like I know there's a way that the rogues discuss things and stuff, like thieves and everything.
I don't know. Theory. Did we let him into the secret?
I'm just saying that, like, in my travels as somebody who's been around a lot and dealt with a lot of shifty people, I would maybe know that like there is something. I don't know what it is or how they do it, but I just know they often have an in with each other.
Mm,
Because I
So
can't share my idea if canonically I wouldn't do that, because otherwise it's metagaming.
I mean,
I would say I'd say Zavarin has seen that in action before, probably.
Okay.
okay.
So then I would like to kind of see, like, maybe we just spend a little bit of time in the city and see if we can get a little information on some stuff. And I would encourage our friendly neighborhood rogue to maybe do a little bit of asking around to see if she can find any information from maybe some less desirables. And if she needs backup walking around in those, I would be happy to be a drifty type to wander around and search with her.
So basically, you
But
want to go around town asking people like, "Hey guys, do you like mushrooms? Do you like mushroom hunting?"
sure.
Right. Just like we did before.
Well, that's funny
I
because
was very
my
bad at that. I was very bad at that. I admit. I failed. But I do see where you're getting, Zora. I could, just kind of keep an
maybe
eye
near the
out
port
because
or something.
because these looted artifacts are being fenced somehow.
Hmm.
They're getting traded and moving around. So the thieves network probably has information about that. I don't know that we'd stop it at the source or how that would work as far as Kulog, but I could certainly try to, just listen in on, little infiltrating into the thief network in town.
I just think with a city of this size and population density, there would most likely be some sort of um, guild of some sorts that would be supplying some information potentially outward. They may not be participating, but they may know something.
Yeah.
So I think it could be beneficial to consider reaching out to some sources and see if we can, help ourselves by crowdsourcing. Because if we just keep kind of being like, let's ask people at a university if they can help us. Let's ask people at a bar if they can. We're not probably going to make it as far as we really want to.
Hmm.
Well, I'll let you guys all sleep on that because I think it's actually about time we wrap up here. Did you guys want
Yeah.
to say anything else?
No.
Alright.
I think that sounds like a really good idea for next time, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Because if we end up deciding we also want a boat, like that could also come in handy too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, when it comes to potentially, going to a store or anything, it may be beneficial to go see if there's a shop around here. I could use a thing or two to assist us later on if I can hit up a shop, maybe.
um, so just to make things move a little bit slower, or slower, not quicker. Go ahead and you can shop things with me just over DMs on Discord. That way you don't have to do this on during the sessions. So that's gonna be like real first edition, like off session play. Yay! So catch y'all later. And you're always welcome to Goblin Town. Yay! 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 Good night, everybody.
Good
Night, everyone.
night.
Bye.
Bye.